Baby daughter, and when you are the youngest of three girls who make all the mistakes before you, who break all the rules before you, you live a free life. My boyfriend came at 14. Theirs came at 16. My mother said, forget it. You know, it's okay. Nothing's bad. So I am grateful for the free spirit of a third daughter, and I appreciate that. So that's why I'm here talking today, because I have a free spirit. But I do want to say, I want to thank my mother for 4 things. And first of all, I want to thank her for good genes. You know, everything my mother has, I have. We have the same hands. You know, I look at my mother's hands, and we have the same hands. We have bad knees. We've had back surgery. We had first stage breast cancer. She gets it, I get it. But, oh my God, what is coming next? And we're both survivors, and I'm happy about that. So I've been kind of ducking and dodging, you know, saying, well, what's the next thing she's going to get? And then she got 90 years old. And I said, you're my girl. I'm okay with that. I like that part. I want to be you. So I am grateful for the good genes of someone who has remained healthy, who has carried the arthritis of the Conrad family with grace and beauty, as you can see. I also want to thank my mom for her engagement with life. You know, when I tell my friends, you know, my dad was a high school football coach. Yeah. And the only thing we didn't do, we didn't play football, but we did everything else with football. And my mother was a football coach's wife, and she was a football coach's wife in the Jim Crow South, which means that she fed the opposing coach at our house at 6 o'clock before they went to play at 8 or 7, whatever time it was, because there was nowhere else for them to eat. So the guys could eat in the cafeteria, so we would have the opposing coach at our dinner table, my mother. So she sees herself as a coach's wife. And for anyone who knows her, you know that every ball player on the court, basketball, football, baseball, if she gets engaged with them, they're hers. She doesn't watch the Dallas Cowboys. She watches Dak Prescott. She doesn't watch the Warriors. She watches Steph Curry. Okay, so what time does Steph come on? It's amazing. So when I go back to work on Monday, I'll say, oh boy, did y'all see the game? And I'm telling what my mother said. And they said, how old is your mother? She's here calling plays. What is she doing? And then, you know, and I tell them, and it's the same way with the NCAA championship. You know, Miriam used to say that ours was the only house that she could call, you know, just in the middle of a play and say, did you see that? And we said, yes, we saw that, you know, and that kind of engagement, the engagement with sports, the engagement with life. She goes shopping, you know, for this trip, like she says to me last week, I haven't been shopping yet. So, you know, she's not dragging up into this party. You know, she is being a diva queen. And I love that about her. I love that there is no time limit on enjoying life and being engaged. And so I am patterning myself after that. I want to be there and on the sidelines cheering right until the last whistle blows. And that's because my mom is engaged right now, every day, you know, from politics, sports. I'm not even going to go politics because I don't want to get her upset. But everything, she's engaged with everything. She's engaged with her children. She's engaged. I also want to thank my mother for her life of service. I tell my friends I was born on a club woman's table. The La Femme Savante Club, I can't even begin to tell you how much a part of our DNA that is. Everything we know about presentations and corsages and life and love and service and working for your community, my mother modeled that all the time. And I'm so grateful for that. And so she says to me now, you're doing too much, you're doing too much. You gotta go to this, you gotta go to that. Yeah, okay. It's all because she did too much. She did a lot, and I'm grateful for that service. And finally, I want to thank her for her love. Well, you know the drill. You know, you got a fever, and who makes you sweet lemon tea? You know, you got your play on you got your long speech on the third grade play, and who are you looking for in the audience? You know, who do you know is cheering you on? You know, who is it that says, well, you can't do that. You can't go to Europe and all of those places, and then goes and buys you a whole new wardrobe to go. And, you know, my children had breakfast every morning in some shape, form, or fashion. Because I tell my friends and I tell them, we sat down for breakfast every morning, all 5 of us. It's just amazing to me that we even have time to do that. But, so I really believe in, and that's one of the things I passed on to them was the hot breakfast in the morning. And now I realize what kind of love it takes to carve that out of your morning when you've got to go to work too. And so I have just felt that love all the days of my life. And I'm just so happy now that I have the opportunity to give that love back to her at a time when, you know, she has come to this new place and we're trying to make her feel at home and loved. And so I thank you, Mama, for that, for your good genes, for your engagement with life, for your service, and for your love. My turn? Yes, sir.
As Maya Angelou says, and talks about phenomenal women. Words, literally, I am never without words. And if you've ever said, I want to be like someone when I grow up, I certainly want to be like Earlene, Vivian, Conrad, Coleman, Maddox, everything that has been said here. And I am my father's oldest daughter. And when I have been written about and people say, how many sisters and siblings do you have? And I always say, there are 6 of us. And we all know about the pecans, that she insisted that Janice got hers to make sure she made pecan pies. But there are so many memories. And Miss Coleman needs to, oh, forgive me. I still call her Miss Coleman because she's my first grade teacher. And she has planted many seeds in all of the places that you have heard about here. And everybody wants to be an example of what a fine woman looks like. I can go on and I can talk forever, but everything that has been said here tonight is that and even more. And I had 4 children, and one of the things that they always talk about was Coleman's good food and Coleman's tender loving care, and she's wiped away many tears, just like she has all of these children. And all of us know stories, and we know the love, the kindness that we have. And the only thing I want to be is phenomenal, like Earlene, Vivian, Conrad, Coleman. we're blessed with 70 years. And Coleman has far exceeded her 70. She's been given 90. And it's such a blessing. It's such a wonderful blessing to all of us that you live to be so long and you look good doing it. I just want to say, we have a third sister. She's in Texas and she's sick right now. But I want to say, she wanted to say happy birthday and she loves you. Coleman has been a prayer warrior. She's been a friend. She's been a mentor. She's been an advisor. And we are just all blessed to have her in our lives. And so Coleman, I want to say, we pray that you have many, many, many more. To be many, many more blessings to all of us. Let me just say one thing. Ms. Coleman had the beginning of the prayer room. She has prayed many of us through good times and bad times. And as Courtney reminds us, just tell her to get that prayer through, go to that blue bathroom.
I speak for the
Granddaughters. Yeah. We'll let the granddaughters have the floor.
Oh gosh, don't let me stand by myself. Oh, I'm by myself.
All of y'all know who I am. I'm Courtney, Brenda's daughter. Carolyn spoke on it a little bit about the attention to detail. And my husband always jokes about our family gatherings, about how there's name tags and there's flowers and we have to dress up and there's charger plates. But the older that I've gotten, the more I appreciate the attention to detail and how much the love is in the details. When I was in college, Grand always sent a note, and it was always down Grand and Johnny Ed, or it would say, go buy a Happy Meal, and it would be like $50 to buy. And then it would say, you know, this is to help you do this. And you always felt like you were special. I've heard my mom say that she never felt like she was one of three. All her children, all her sisters felt like they were only children because she took the detail and paid attention and, you know, would call and would just anything that you were thinking about. I remember I had not told anyone I was pregnant with Emery yet, and I was telling her I'm having all this anxiety, and she said, well, what's the baby do? You know, I had not said a word, and she knew. I spent a lot of summers with Grand and John Ed, and there's so many stories that I could tell. The biggest one is she had this big gray, I don't know if that was an Oldsmobile or a Buick, and the doors were heavy, and I got to sit in the front seat, and she would say, okay, we're gonna close it. She would hold my hand and she'd say 1, 2, 3, pull, and we would close the door together. And then Quay talked about the blue bathroom. I can't tell you how many times I've called and said, I got this test, I got whatever's going on, please go to the blue bathroom and pray. And whatever it was, she would pray. There was it would always be what I wanted it to be, you know, like Grand prayed, it's okay. Anytime that we drove from Atlanta to Mississippi, there was always pepper steak and rice or, you know, chicken and dumplings or whatever my favorite was. She always made Kool-Aid and she'll say, I didn't put enough sugar, did I? Like, no, you know, there was always a special thing, taking me to vacation Bible school and making you had to be presentable. Again, about that detail, you ironed a t-shirt, you did not go anywhere if there was a stain on your shirt. And to this day, I have cleaned my children 3 times today because I'm like, you have to be presentable. I wrote her a letter when I graduated from college, and she sent money and sent money and sent money. She said, your first job, give me your first $1. And I sent her $1, and I named all these things that she had done, like cook and, you know, close the door and pick me up to get the box out of P.O. Box 222, you know, pick me up so I could unlock the door, and all those wonderful, wonderful memories. And I prayed so much, like, Lord, please let my grandmother meet my children. And she got to hold them both. She plays with them both. she gets to, you know, they look forward to being at her house. They come in, they take their shoes off, socks off, and they're in great-grand's house. And that's how it was on that hill in Mississippi. So, I mean, Grand, I can't tell you, you know, I always, Miriam has stole my thunder. You know, I always say I'm the favorite, but I know we all are. You know, no, she doesn't treat anyone any different. And my biggest thing that I could take away from my grandmother is I would tell her, you know, some people would do you wrong, or we wanted to give $1 to the man on the side of the street, and they said, oh no, they probably gonna go buy drugs with it. She said, once that dollar is out of my hands, I am not in control of what does it. You do the right thing. She said, my heart gave that man $1. I can't control what happens, and I try to do that. I try to get my children to understand that, like, give all you can, and don't worry about what happens after that. And then one funny thing, I am a coach's wife. And it is a hard job. And I have heard stories of my grandmother being kicked out or, you know, yelling at the refs. And I got it honest. My husband will attest to that. I have not been kicked out yet, but I got it from her passion, her love for something, her engagement, and how she just, you know, she goes all in. And I try to be that way. So I hope that we have all made you proud. You know, my boys love you. We all love you. And that's all I'm going to say. I don't know where Miriam is, who has my phone. But I did know that she requested the Coleman sisters to sing, and I promised her I would say it. So y'all get on that. So my cousins.
Well, contrary to what Miriam thinks, I am the favorite. And we know this because there was a fight over these orange cups with the white top on them. And they were actually my cups. And so that's why there was a fight, because they were supposed to be sent to California to me. And I only got one. I don't know why this is, but it's because everybody else wanted them, because nobody wanted them while they were here, but when they were supposed to be sent to me, all of a sudden everybody wanted them. So anyway, now that we've established who the favorite is, we have this tradition that we started, I don't even know when this was, maybe when I was in high school, I don't even know. Gran would always send me my birthday card, and no matter when she sent it, it would always arrive the day after. And she would get so mad, but I would get excited. I'm like, it extends my birthday. It's not that big of a deal. And she was just so mad. She's always calling the day before, the day of. Where is it? Where is it? It's not here. It's okay. It's okay. So we just decided that was just the thing. She would not call me until the day after, so then we don't have any problems. So we don't call each other on holidays or birthdays until the day after, so we don't have to worry about interference from other people on Mother's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, nothing. I don't have to compete with anyone else. I get her on my own time because I call her the day after. It's my day. So we have fun with this, and we've done this for years. It works out perfectly. We don't have any problems with the mail. Everything's extended, and it works out great. I won't go on and on about everything that she's instilled in all of us, because I think it's pretty much in this room, and it's all been said. It's very true about the giving nature that she has, that she's instilled in us, and I know that we've passed that on, and I see that in my son. Sometimes I kind of hold my breath, because I see things that I've done, and I know that he's watched, because he came home one night. He'll work at his job, and he gets home when he has to close, and it'll be really late at night. He came home one night at on the weekends when he gets home. It can be 3 or 3:30 in the morning. He comes running in the house, and he's like, "Mom, I need a blanket." And I'm like, "A blanket? What are you talking about? I need a blanket." He's like, "Okay, for what?" He's like, "Well, there was this lady. She was sitting in the restaurant, and she stayed there until we closed, and she needed a blanket." She said all she wanted was a blanket. She didn't want any food or anything. She just wanted a blanket because she was cold. And he said, I told her I'd be back. And he works 15-20 minutes away from our house, and so he told her I would bring her back a blanket. And so she said she'd wait at Denny's until he came back. So he came home, he found a blanket, and he drove back. to that lady and he gave her the blanket and then he came back home. And while I was a little bit nervous about it, I did just sat there. I couldn't stop smiling because I was just so filled with pride that he did that. He was just, and he could not rest until he took that blanket back. I'm just, that, you know, my son works 2 jobs. He goes to school and I'm very, very proud of him every day. And he takes the time to do something like that, and amongst many other things that he does all the time. And I know that comes from my parents, and that all starts right here at the top. So we're blessed with lots of things, and I thank you for all of that. And I love you. I love all of our talks, lots of giggles, and I look forward to many, many more.
I'm the crybaby of the family, so I'm gonna try. I've been doing good. Grand, I can't look at you because I'll start crying. But I'm the oldest, as most of you know, the oldest grandchild. And I don't claim to be the favorite. I'm just the busiest. Go get the least. Go. That's me. I'm the busiest. But I will say this. I thank my grandmother for 3 gifts. The gift of love, family, friends, people you don't know, people you delight with your smile, your energy, people who meet you in the grocery store, hadn't seen you in 30 years, and say, Miss Coleman. That was my first grade teacher. As a very young child, I had no idea the impact on all the lives that you had for many years. And it doesn't surprise me that now I also work with children. And I also meet people in the grocery store. Little children come up and grab me by the leg that I don't remember. I thank you for the gift of love. For people you know, you don't know, the people you're related to, the people you meet on the street. You exude love. I thank you for the gift of faith. You and the good Lord know all the things that have been along your journey. I probably don't know half of it. But your faith has been consistent. It has never faltered in all the things that you face in life. And you have given that to our mothers, and it's passed on to us, and I'm grateful for that. And the last thing is determination. Let's do it. The determination to go through and navigate and strike out on your journey and not wait for anybody to hold your hand. I got that from you. If I want to do it, I go forward and I do it with love, with faith, and with determination. And I thank you for the gift you've given your daughters. They have in turn have given to us. Thank you so much.